Baik, saya mulai ya.
Oke, Kak.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everyone. We are from Group 2, and we are going to presenting about approach and model learning. Well, let me introduce our member of Group 2. The first is Asilastri. The second is Elsa Septiani. The third is me, Padli Muhammad Rijal. Next is Hanifah, and the last is Keke Sri Mulyani. Well, we are going to the first material. There is definitions of approach learning. Will delivered by Keke.
Okay, thank you for the moderator. Here I will explain the definition according to expert. Approach to learning refers to the operating framework or perspective through which educators design and implement instructional strategies to facilitate students' acquisition of knowledge and skill. This according Brown Douglas. And according Rusman, the approach to learning encompasses the theoretical foundation and instructional methods employed by educators to create meaningful learning experience for students. And in conclusions, both definitions underscore the deeper dimensions of the approach to learning, integrating theoretical principles, teaching methods, philosophical consideration, and responsive to students' needs to foster impactful and purposeful learning encounters. And this, according to Johnson and David, learning methods are procedures or techniques utilized by educators to aid students in effective learning. And according Robert, defines learning methods as strategies or techniques used by teachers to deliver instructional material to students, and underscoring the instructional aspect of teaching. And learning technique, according to Gerlach and Ellie, are the tools or paths or media used by teachers to direct the activity of the pupils toward the goal that they want to. And according Wina Sanjaya, said that learning techniques are a presentation of learning methods. Techniques are the way a person performs in order to implement a method. Give back to the moderator.
Well, thank you for the first material. And the second material, types of learning approach learning. learning method and learning technique will delivered by Keke to silakan.
Okay, still with me and uh, type learning approach. This is teacher-centered and student-centered. In the teacher-centered approach, learning focus on the teacher as an expert who hold control during the learning process, and in learning process including organization, material, and time. And the teacher acts as an expert who expresses their experience well to inspire and stimulate students. And meanwhile, in the student-centered approach, students are encouraged to do something as a practical experience and building meanings from the experiences they gain. The teacher only plays the role of motivator and facilitator. And this learning method is, according Rianto, mentions several characteristics of methods that have the potential to facilitate learning during the learning process, including facilitating, providing, motivating, and supporting. One, facilitating conducive condition during the learning process, and providing easy for learning to study instructional materials during the learning process, and motivating is learners to actively participate in every learning activity. And supporting is allow learners to obtain balanced learning experience that encompass all potential within them. And the last, learning technique. In the learning process, learning technique can improve the use of instructional media, technology, assigning tasks, using questioning techniques, and so on. The purpose of using learning techniques is to help students understanding learning concept better, increase student learning motivation, and accept predetermined learning objectives. And for example of learning techniques is explanation, discussion, simulation, and role playing. Thank you, and give to the moderator.
Okay, thank you, Keke, for delivering the material. Well, the next material is genre-based learning. Will be delivered by Hani. Hani, silakan.
Okay, thank you for moderator. genre-based learning. Genre, according to Martin, 1987 to 150, is a unit of event that is oriented or directed to achieve certain goals in the social process. The definition of genre that can be used as the basis of research is that genre is a unit of communication. Even in society consisting of steps, they may be taken to achieve certain goals in the social process, and language is used to mean achieve certain goals. Number 2, concept. Basically, genre the theory is a theory language used. Genre-based writing instruction is actually developed based on cheat language studies constructed within systematic functional model. Systematic functional model, and then how children learn language and how in particular they learn to develop context. The studies show that in the course of interaction between adults who nurture and care children. Number 3, foundation. The foundation of the genre-based approach is based on several theories and main concepts, including sociocultural. This approach recognizes the influence of social and cultural context. Number 2, language function, and then genre analysis, model teaching, providing feedback. Teacher must also provide specific and relevant feedback based on the communication objective of each learning genre, so then students can improve their ability to use language effectively. Number 4, principles. PBG or genre-based approach can be an effective strategy to solve writing problem and help students learn to write according. Hyun explained that this approach strongly emphasizes the relationship between the genres and their context to help students become good members in their wider communities and in their academic and professional environment. There are principal features PBG as follows. First, emphasis in language used in social and cultural contexts. Secondly, this approach emphasizes the magnitude of the audience and the language convention. Third, it is so that writing is a social act. Social interaction and participation of group members are essential for developing new knowledge. Fourth, PBG is used to teach students to write by considering by subject. The genre-based approach with topic hard learning media for learning to write is a process and product for the whole writing process. The text-based approach in the curriculum has 5 stages, namely observing, questioning, trying, reasoning, and communicating. Number 5 step, Sawyer and Watson emphasize that learning to write is learning and control genre. Genre is basically identified as a generic structure that include the flow and ideas information conveyed by the writer. Students should learn first by recognizing structure, but emphasis on structure should not distract to important. A genre-based approach to teaching writing as follows. Number 1, introducing the genre. The teacher models reading the genre to the whole class. Number 2, focus on a genre. The genre model presented should be explicit with stage as the name, suggest narration, description, or argumentation categories. Number 3, jointly agreeing on genres. The teacher and class jointly organize the genre is focused on in discussion, either pairs/groups. Number 4, approving, selecting material, assessing information before writing, and then the last, independent construction, studying individually, create their own genres. Okay, I give back to moderator.
Okay. Thank you, Hani, for the explanations. And the next material is model learning by will delivered by me, Padli Rizal. Okay. Can we change the slide? Sorry, can we change the slide? Oh, okay. Here are the model learning. Everyone, after you know about the definition of approach learning, method, and technique, you will see model learning as a result from the three approach, method, and technique. Okay, well, here about model learning, we will see the definition from three experts. The first is from Agus Surijono. He say learning models are pattern used as guidelines in planning classroom or tutorial learning. Moreover, from Slavin say learning models serve a reference for a learning approach, including its objectives, syntax, improvement, and management system. The last is from Khairuddin. He described learning models as conceptual frameworks used as guide in conducting learning activities. Well, so learning models are methods or techniques used by educators in the teaching process for enhance the effective and inclusive of education. Okay, the next one is how the teacher considerations how to choose the suitable model for learning. Well, the first is about the goal. So what the teacher have to consider is about the goals, like does the intern learning objective align with the academic or effective with students, or what the complexity of intended learning objective, or do the intended objective require academic skills. It's what teacher have to consider about the goals of the teaching activity. Well, the second is teacher consideration about material and content in learning. So teacher have to uh, decide the material and content in learning, because it's like is the subject matter or not. Does the learning process require prerequisite or not, or are they existing supporting material is relevant or not. It's the material and content in learning. The next is basic ability of student. So teacher have to know the basic abilities of student. So the teacher will uh, know the what is the suitable model learning for the students. Okay. The next is time to spend using the models. Okay. Well, the last is time to spend. So teacher have to know about how the model can be uh, placed in learning. Like, can the learning objective be achieved with one model or others, or Does the learning model have effective or effective value for now, or the learning model can be used in another time? Okay. Well, it's model learning. We're going to the next material. Okay. Can we change the slide? Sorry. Oh, okay. The next is the view of Bruce Joyce and Martha Whale of sorry. Okay. The next is what the view of Bruce Joyce and Martha Whale of consideration about to choose suitable learning models. Okay. That will deliver by me. Okay. So consideration to three mentions. The first is for social interaction model. So this model emphasizes the significance of interpersonal relationship and interaction in the teaching learning process. So the first social interaction model, and the second is information process model. The information process models focus on how students process and organize information to construct knowledge and understanding. And the last is personal development models. These models prioritize the holistic development of students, covering intellectual, emotional, social, and moral growth. So the first is social, the second is information, the last is personal. So they classified the I'm sorry, they classified the considerations for three mentions. Well, uh, okay. The next material is can change the slide. Okay. Next material is types of learning model that will be delivered by Elsa. Silakan. Sorry. The first is Asi and then Elsa. Okay, silakan.
Contextual teaching and learning. Okay, for types of learning model, there is contextual teaching and learning. In here, there is advantage and disadvantage. The first is relevant. CTL makes learning more meaningful, relevant to student. How the teacher give the more meaning for the student life by connecting academic content to real world situation, and engagement and motivation. The deeper understanding, by contextualizing learning, and CTL promotes deeper understanding and acquisition of knowledge as students see the practical application of what they are learning. And active learning, CTL encourage active participation and problem solving from students, fostering critical thinking skill and collaborative learning. In here, there is disadvantage how from contextual teaching and learning, time consuming, time consuming, implement CTL requires careful planning and preparation, which can be time consuming for the teacher, especially when designing real world learning experience. The second, research intensive. CTL might require additional research such as multimedia material or field trips to effectively contextualize learning, which called post challenge from school with limited research. Teacher training. Teacher might need training and professional development to effectively implement CTL strategies, including integrating real-world context into their teaching practice. And the last, there is assessment challenge. Assessing student learning in contextualized environment can be challenging, as traditional assessment methods might not adequately measure student abilities to apply knowledge in real-world situation. The assessment challenge is usually from the teacher how the assessment the student from what have learned. Okay, thank you.
Okay,
This is
sorry to
from
interrupt. I'm sorry. The material is going to delivered by Asi, Hani, and Keke. Okay, silakan. The next is Hani.
Okay. Cooperative teaching and learning. The process cooperative learning involves students working together in a small group on a structured activity. The member of the group learn to work as a team to accomplish a specific goals, to solve a problem, to complete project, or to develop a product. Teacher holds students accountable individually but also access group work. Students are responsible not only for learning material but also for ensuring that the other member of the group learn the material too. In an algebra classroom, cooperative learning is a key component in training algebra for all. Cooperative learning differs from the traditional teacher-centered classroom in that it is student-centered. In a traditional classroom, the teacher plays the role learning disseminator, giving the student all of the information they need. And also provide the following definition of lecture: the transfer of ideas from the notes of the teacher to the sing to the minds of either. In a cooperative classroom, however, the teacher takes on the role learning facilitator, helping students figuring out what information will be helpful to complete the assigned task. The structure of cooperative learning provides a place where students are stakeholder in their own learning. Number 2, a learner are active participant. 3, students learn social skills such as cooperative and conflict resolution. 4, projects are designed to be interesting yet challenging. 5, teachers sometimes learn and students sometimes teach. And then among the results are improved student achievement, increased self-esteem and confidence, high level of motivation, improved behavior, better attendance, then more positive attitudes towards school learning and classmates. Research has constantly shown that when two key elements of cooperative learning, positive and independent and individually accountability, but of which are discussed later in this session, are present student achievement improves. Okay, I give back to moderator.
Okay, I'll continue with the material about problem-based learning. The basic goal of this problem-based learning method is to reach real-world problems. And here there is advantages and disadvantages. Advantages is students are trained to use their minds consistently to think critically and solve problems, to encourage increased student activity in the classroom through learning practice. The existence of this learning system makes the student accustomed to learning, but using relevant research, students are required to participate actively. Learning activity become more conducive and effective. And disadvantages, although it is a reliable learning approach, some learning materials do not match it, having the time it take to complete the learning material is considered long enough, not a moment, because not all students want to work on it. Students who are not or are not used to doing an analysis of a problem if there are too many students in the classroom. Teacher will have difficult arranging tasks. I return back to the moderator.
Okay, thank you for explanation from Asi, Hani, and Keke. Well, the next material are going to delivered by Elsa. Dipersilakan.
Okay, thank you for the moderator for giving me the opportunities. So I will continue the explanation from types of learning model. So this is first one is thematic learning. Thematic learning model is teaching and learning activity by combining for several subjects to be one theme. So it means like teacher have several subject and teacher combining or integrating the several subject to be one theme. So this is we can find this model in elementary school. Literally, if you have little brother or little sister, or maybe you are being a student in elementary school, I think you are familiar with this model. And then I think this model I read in journal. This model makes it easier for student because our real life. And then this model will be meaningful if this model have a connected from one model to from one subject to another subject, such as I will give this example, like when we shopping to food. So if we will buy, we have to counting. Kayak jadi kan ada pelajaran counting ini masuknya ke pelajaran matematika. So next is healthy food. Healthy food ini bisa masuk ke pelajaran IPA, like mau beli healthy foodnya kayak kentang, beras. Nah, kentang ini mengandung apa aja sih? Begitu juga dengan beras atau vegetables and the other. So next is dialog. Nah, dialog ini masuknya ke dialog yang tawar-menawar yang masuk ke dalam pelajaran Indonesia language gitu. Jadi kan dari beberapa subjek itu memiliki keterkaitan. Nah, so this is maka dari itu this model called thematic model. Jadi satu subjek dengan subjek lainnya itu memiliki keterkaitan, nah digabungkan dalam satu tema. Oke. Next, so here you can see there are advantages and disadvantages. First, meaningful relationship, learning became intake, teacher and student discussion. Disadvantagesnya, lost subject, identify, increase planning time, student disinterest. I think you can, karena I just have little bit of time, you can read in the paper the advantages and disadvantages of this model. Next is fifth one is web e-learning based learning. E-learning consists of two parts. First is word E, which stands electronica, and then the next one, word learning, it stands for learning. A learning means devices. So in its implementation, a learning utilizes the services audio, video, or computer devices, or combination of the three. So I think learning, we usually this model learning in our daily learning. Like if we cannot do offline class, we can do by online class by Zoom or Gmeet, or we always submit the task from the lecture in our in-house. Nah, itu juga termasuk ke dalam e-learning yang berhubungan dengan elektronika. So we can like read a book in e-book. Nah, itu juga termasuk e-learning. Jadi kayak, dan I think this model is make it easier benefit from this model. So this is you can also see the advantages and disadvantages. First is learning facility. from advantages, and disadvantages, lack of interaction. It means lack of interaction. If we do online class, guru itu kayak lebih difficult to memantau kita daripada kita menggunakan offline class. So I think you can also read by yourself in this paper. So the sixth one is self-directed learning. Self-directed learning, it means, wait a minute. According to Metallido and Flaco, self-directed learning is defined as a learning process in which students are given the freedom to set their own learning, make academic decision, and engage in activities that help them achieve their goals. So I once read a journal. This model is usually used by adult, because I think adult can be able to control themselves, to organize themselves. Nah, jadi self-directed ini yang mana pembelajarannya itu senternya tuh ke diri kita sendiri. Jadi kayak student tuh di give freedom untuk choose what they kayak teknik apa aja sih yang akan mereka pelajari. Terus tujuan mereka belajarnya tuh tujuannya tuh apa aja kayak gitu. Jadi self-directed ini kepada diri kita diberikan freedom kepada diri kita untuk menentukan pembelajarannya itu seperti apa. So I think by using this method, student will make a decision by their self, and then student can take many responsibility for their action. So here there are advantages like a free to study. So these advantages like laziness. Kenapa laziness? Karena mereka kan set semuanya sendiri, jadi kayak bodo amat, mereka bisa mengatakan kayak aku mau males-malesan aja gitu, karena mereka mengeset dirinya sendiri gitu. So you can also see the advantages and disadvantages in our paper. So please to the next slide. Next slide, please. Okay, the last one is student-centered learning. Now, student-centered learning, according to Rogers, is the result of a transition of power in the learning process from the power of the teacher as expert to the power of the student as learner. I think student learning centers are familiar because the curriculum now uses this model. So this model different with traditional model. It means traditional model, the center of the learning in teacher. So the student-centered student, it means a student will be active than teacher. The teacher only as facilitator or as guide the student. So like the task of the teacher here is helping to the student achieve their goals. So the student will make the decision independently and take sorry. So this I think the student-centered learning ini jadi di mana proses pembelajarannya itu ditujukan kepada siswanya. Jadi kayak guru cuma sebagai facilitator, and I think this was familiar for you are. So I think here there are advantages and disadvantages, like example social skill, and disadvantages take a long time do for student and teacher. I think you can also see the advantages and disadvantages in our paper. Okay, I'm back to the moderator. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you, Elsa, for delivering the material. The next material is the example of the applications of the interrelationship between approach, methods, and technique in English learning. That will delivered by me. Okay. The first example is the approach is communicative language teaching or CLT, and the method is task-based language teaching, and the technique is role play. Okay, as we know, the CLT which emphasize real life communication. So the method are task-based language teaching, and the technique are the method is drill and practice. The technique is repetition drill. Okay, we know in audiolingual method, there is focus on language habits through repetition. So repetition drills is suitable for this approach. The next is approach task-based language teaching or TBLT. The method is problem-based learning, and the technique is scenario-based tech. Okay, the TBLT or task-based language teaching is center of meaningful language. So there is a problem, so the method is problem-based learning, and the technique is scenario-based text. Well, the last is grammar translations method or GTM. The method is translations exercise, and the technique is sentence translation. Okay. Well, we know that grammar translations method is can we slide the PowerPoint? Well, the last material is the example of the application of model in English learning. So before is the definition, and now it's the applications. Well, the material will delivered by Asi, Elsa, and Hani. Dipersilakan.
Okay, for the contextual teaching and learning, the first there is real life, the second there's task-based approach, and the search integration of multiple skill, the fourth authentic assessment. I want to explain. In here, the first is in real life context. Dalam pembelajaran kontekstual, jadi bagaimana teacher apply student apply the real life condition to learner. And here is like such as video, photographs, and article are used to connect classroom learning to outside world. By incorporative this real life example, student can see the relevance of what they learning to their everyday lives. Jadi kayak bagaimana mahasiswa itu kayak mengaplikasikan kehidupan sehari-harinya dengan pembelajaran itu, like make video or photographs and and etc. And the second, there is task-based approach. Contextual teaching and learning often involve task-based approach where language skills are developed through practical tasks or activities. Di mana keterampilan bahasa dikembangkan melalui tugas atau aktivitas praktis gitu. Jadi bagaimana apa sih namanya tuh, kan ini apa ya, in English learning. Jadi bagaimana si student itu mengaplikasikan bahasanya tuh dalam task based gitu. Jadi dalam apa namanya, task based approach. For the third, there is integration and multiple skill. Integration and multiple skill, contextual teaching and learning emphasize the integration of multiple language skill, include listening, reading, speaking, and writing, rather than teaching the skill is isolation. They are integrated into authentic tasks or activities that mirror real-world language use. Jadi, pembelajaran kontekstual ini menekankan keterampilan bahasa, termasuk mendengarkan ini ya, kayak apa tadi, integrating of multiple skill, apa yang kayak, jadi si student ini apa sih, bagaimana mengaplikasikan dalam apa ya, pembelajaran mana reading, speaking, and writing. Jadi kayak of multiple skill gitu lah. The fourth is authentic assessment. Authentic assessment in contextual teaching and learning. Assessment is often authentic and included with real-world tasks. This can include tasks, role play, presentation, or other activities. Penilaian authentic assessment. Jadi ini kayak mereka yang apa sih, tugas-tugas authentic assessment. Jadi tugas yang misalnya kayak teacher memberikan tugas, jadi mereka tuh bagaimana mengaplikasikan bahasa itu, bisa pakai presentasi, kayak ya, kayak ada role play, presentation, or other activities that student demonstrate their language skill in from. The next explain will be continue with Elsa.
Okay, thank you, Zahra. So here I will continue the explanation, not the explanation like application, the model. The second model is cooperative teaching and learning. As you know, cooperative adalah kerjasama ya, kerja kelompok. As yang udah dijelaskan oleh Saudari Hani kalau nggak salah. Jadi ini cara pengaplikasiannya ya. Nah, di sini adalah contoh pengaplikasian speaking lesson dalam materinya adalah asking and giving opinion. Nah, the first instruction is the teacher will explain the learning objectives and give the motivation from the student. Jadi gurunya tuh menjelaskan kayak gimana sih apa cara melakukannya dulu gitu. Ngejelasin tuh. The second one is the teacher explain in general the material to be presented with the help videos and some reading text related to asking and giving opinion. Selanjutnya guru itu menjelaskan asking and giving opinion nih apa sih kayak gitu kan. Penjelasannya tuh apa? Nah, dibantu dengan memberikan foto atau video. It make it easier to student will be understand. Nah, next one is The teacher give hint or direction about some words used in asking for and for giving opinion. Terus guru itu memberikan kata-kata yang dipakai itu apa aja sih untuk materi asking and giving opinion. Nah, after that, the teacher give example by playing some videos for asking and giving opinion. Jadi tadi kan pengertian tuh yang diberikan video kan tadi pengertian. Nah, kalau yang sekarang itu implementasinya tuh gimana sih? Role playnya asking and for giving opinion tuh gimana sih gitu. Dengan video. Nah, selanjutnya adalah the teacher make a groups. Nah, habis itu teacher itu membuat grup. Satu kelas tuh dibagi jadi beberapa grup gitu. Nah, kenapa dibuat grup? Ya, karena because this model adalah cooperative model. Nah, selanjutnya adalah student practice asking for and giving opinion. Jadi setelah dibuat grup, make a pairs gitu, jadi studentnya tuh practice apa yang mereka pelajari tadi. Gimana sih cara asking and giving opinion? Nah, practice itu ke teman. Nah, ketika student itu practice, the teacher itu as facilitator. Jadi kayak teacher itu apa ya namanya? Jadi teacher itu kayak mengawasi mereka. Jadi apabila mereka itu membutuhkan helping kayak gitu, ada kata-kata yang mereka nggak tahu atau mereka tuh masih kurang paham. Tuh. After that, student in the group present the result of the group discussion in front of the class. Nah, jadi setelah mereka berdiskusi, gimana sih asking for giving opinion, implementasinya. Jadi mereka tuh practice di depan kelas. Habis itu, after the practice, the teacher will be evaluate or give feedback. Kayak apa sih kurangnya dan apa sih yang harus ditingkatkan lagi. I think this is the example for cooperative model. So I will next. The third one is problem-based learning. Nah, problem-based, I will give the example. Problem-based learning. Wait a minute. First one is the teacher will give or will show the photo, the condition, the lazy student in the class, in the English class. Jadi ini sebenarnya tentang kan problem based learning ya, tentang memecahkan permasalahan. Jadi permasalahannya di sini adalah the student ini bermalas-malasan dalam pembelajaran bahasa Inggris. Nah, dari itu the teacher itu show student lazy in English class. Nah, after that, student will be observe the picture. Student itu akan mengamati, gitu kan? So the next is the student are asked for the responses. Nah, jadi gurunya itu memintai respon student kayak apa sih yang kayak kalian lihat di sini kayak gitu. Terus masalah apa sih yang terjadi di sini gitu. Dimintai tanggapan kan. So the next one is student decide the problem from the picture. For example, why are students lazy in learning English? Jadi setelah mereka mengobservasi, mereka tuh memutuskan tanggapan mereka. Oh, contohnya adalah kayak kenapa sih siswa itu ini yang learners itu males dalam pembelajaran bahasa Inggris kayak gitu. Jadi contoh dari masalahnya tuh seperti itu. Terus the next is teacher will be make a group, and then after make a group, the student will mengumpulkan many information to solve this problem. Jadi terus mereka tuh mengumpulkan informasi-informasi bagaimana sih cara mengatasi masalah ini kayak gitu. After that, siswa itu kan sambil berdiskusi tuh. Nah, after that, setelah mereka berdiskusi, siswa itu akan membuat laporan dari cara memecahkan masalah yang terjadi yang terjadi ini gitu. Terus mereka membuat laporan, terus siswa itu mengumpulkan kan ke guru. Habis itu student L and the teacher will evaluate it and the teacher will give the feedback. Jadi ini adalah contoh pengaplikasian dari bagaimana pengaplikasian dari model tadi model yang berbasis masalah. Jadi, gimana caranya student itu? Oke, thank you.
The first is that center like spider web. This is very difficult for me for explain because I little understand, guys. Jadi from the internet I search, ini model pembelajaran tipe yang kayak spider apa? Spider web yang menggabungkan kayak student harus menentukan tema tertentu. Misalnya temanya tuh hewan. Terus habis gitu jadi kalau misalnya udah ada temanya dilanjutkan jadi bagaimana student itu apa ya dengan tema spider, karena si student itu mengkaitkan dengan tema-tema tersebut. Jadi mereka tuh kayak misalnya hewan ada berapa, hewan tuh apa aja, kayak gitu. Dari apa yang tema yang udah ditentukan sebelumnya gitu. That is the spider net model ya. Spider net model ini juga kayak apa sih manfaat dari spider net model ini? The first is menyelesaikan tema sesuai dengan minat akan memotivasi anak itu untuk belajar karena temanya ditentuin dari student, jadi mungkin kan lebih mudah gitu ya daripada tema yang diberikan dari teacher gitu. The second lebih mudah juga dilakukan oleh guru yang belum berpengalaman gitu. Jadi kayak oh ya ini kayak lebih mudah menyelesaikan masalah gitu kan. The third is memudahkan perencanaan gitu ya. The fourth pendekatan tematik dapat memotivasi siswa gitu. Yang tadinya apa sih nggak suka pelajarannya, tapi karena karena kalau temanya ini menurut dia temanya seru nih gitu ya. Jadi kan memotivasi siswa untuk belajar. The second there is the integrated model. The integrated model give me time guys. The integrated model ini mempelajari tema juga dengan menggabungkan mata pelajaran yang berbeda. Misalnya jika temannya tuh ada eksplorasi luar angkasa, maka si siswa ini dapat apa ya kan temanya tuh eksplorasi luar angkasa. Jadi student ini mungkin mencari penjelajahan luar angkasa itu melalui Okay, for this thematic learning, I want continue summarize both the models help student to understand the main theme better by exploring it different ways across different subject. Jadi dengan dua cara yang berbeda tapi bisa memudahkan student itu untuk menyelesaikan pembelajarannya dengan lebih mudah. Okay. I'm give back to the moderator.
Okay, the next material will be delivered by Hani.
Masih yang ini?
Oh iya, sorry for the web learning ya.
Yang 56, yang 67.
Oh 5 dulu. Web learning.
Oh yang web learning. Lanjut.
Okay, for the web learning, also know as a learning refers to educational activities and research delivered over the internet. Sekarang kan jadi kayak banyak gitu ya pembelajaran yang saya nggak bisa ke kampus, kita mengadakannya dengan kayak ini ya, apa sih, web-based learning. So overall, web-based learning platform like Google Meet, Zoom, Inhouse, and Google Classroom offer flexible and accessible option for delivering educational content and facilitating communication and collaboration in online learning environment. Is make the easier maybe in jadi di mana pelajaran itu gak bisa bertatap muka, jadi bisa menggunakan web-based learning. These platforms have become increasing important tools for remote learning, distance education, and blended learning models, providing opportunities for interactive and engaging educational experience beyond the traditional classroom setting. Jadi this is memberikan peluang untuk pengalaman pendidikan walaupun tidak bisa bertatap muka. Okay, maybe that is enough from me. For the next self-directed learning, who is explain?
Hani,
Okay,
silakan.
self-directed learning is independent learning is considered suitable for innovation because learning is carried out in computer laboratory with students facing their respective computer to minimize interference for friends. A student expect to able to, number one, realizing that the relationship between the teacher and himself still exists. Number two, know when he should ask for help, when he need help or support from other parties. Number three, know from whom and where he can or should get help or support. And then 7, student-centered learning. Student activity-oriented learning can be seen as an approach to learning that emphasizes optimal student activity to obtain learning outcome in the form of a balanced combination or cognitive, affective, and physicomotor aspect. Learning approach improve the ability of learning to make it more meaningful. In this effort, that are several activities that teacher can carry out, including but forward various alternative learning objectives that must be achieved before learning activities begin. Number 2, arranging learning tasks together. 3, provide information about activities that must be carried out. 4, provide motivation and encourage students to learn through asking questions. Okay, that's all from me. I give back to Model.
Okay, thanks, Hani, for explains. And the last, we are going to the conclusions. Okay, as you hear our presentation from the beginning until the end, here are the conclusion. Well, jadi di learning itu kita kan untuk membuat learning itu menjadi lebih efektif, more effective, we are going to do something. Like yang pertama kita approach atau pendekatan, yang kedua metode atau plan-nya, dan yang ketiga teknik atau cara kita melakukan hal tersebut. Well, so approach di materi ini, approach di sini kita masih approach di sini masih sebagai asumsi untuk pendekatan pembelajaran kita. Nah, hanya asumsi itu tidak cukup. Dan ketika kita sudah menemukan the approach atau the asumsi, kita membuat metode atau planningnya. Jadi ada asumsi dan plan atau rencana. Setelah ada rencana, ada teknik atau bagaimana kita mengeksekusi rencana itu. So, approach, method, and technique. Oke, kalau semuanya udah relasi atau interrelationship dari semuanya, itu nanti akan tercipta model learning, especially in learning language or English learning. So, approach is assumption, method is plan, technique is how we execute the method. And the end, we will menciptakan sebuah model learning atau learning model. Well, that's all from us, Group 2. Thank you for her attention, and sorry if any there are mistake of our presentations. Ditutup saja dengan doa. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adzabannar. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.